Klomparens on your left, AJ Kerrigan on your right. It's Yund versus the Fishies. Both these players off to a great start here at the Berglund Center in Roanoke, Virginia. 4-0. They'll be given the green light here in just a moment, and round number 5, will be underway. This is what I'm talking about right here. A little modern action to get this afternoon going. An island here for AJ Kerrigan. Jadine with a Raging Ravine as we head back over to AJ. Now Spreading Seas in hand right now.
Right off the top.
That's where it's got to start, in my opinion. And if AJ knows Jadine pretty well, and I have a feeling that he does, he knows that Jadine generally plays Jund in Modern. Some sort of Thoughtseize deck. Now, not a lot of decks in Modern, Patrick, play Raging Ravine.
Right, that is a bit of a giveaway.
Now, will AJ try to get to the battlefield early with a Master of the Pearl Trident, or is it, Spreading Seas that Raging Ravine and draw a card?
That thing's dead.
Yeah, that's probably not going to live very long.
That's dead.
Yeah.
Don't get attached.
That's a Lord of Atlantis that Patrick does not believe is going to live very long. There is Lightning Bolt. That is dead. We'll go back over to Kerrigan. Kerrigan's picked up a copy of Mutavault. He'll play the creature land. And now here is the Spreading Seas on a Raging Ravine. That will resolve, so that Raging Ravine is now an island. Kerrigan will draw a card, and we'll head back over to Klomparens, see if she wants to sacrifice that Wooded Foothills or not, and she will. The Raging Ravine is going to go off the screen a little bit here. The Spreading Seas is going to replace it as a land, and just keep in mind that Spreading Seas is obviously an island.
Yep, not the tightest in terms of keeping the game state the most clear, but a little bit easier for these players to, manipulate their resources.
Looks like Klomparens is thinking Overgrown Tomb. And it will be the black-green Ravnica Shockland. So AJ will cut the deck, Jadine will untap. And now it is time for our Jund player to draw a card. Picked up another copy of Tarmogoyf. Blooming Marsh is the third land, so that will enter the battlefield untapped. No red mana here for Klomparens, given the Spreading Seas, but no matter. Just a Liliana of the Veil that's going to start going after AJ Kerrigan's hand. Jadine already ready to discard, know what she wants to lose. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a red card like Terminate. And for AJ, he's looking at a Dismember that he will lose. So it's actually an additional copy of Liliana of the Veil. For Klomparens, that goes to the graveyard. Dismember for AJ Kerrigan. He'll play an island. We'll see if he's got 2 spells to play or not. It's actually going to be a Master of the Pearl Trident, Fire from Mutavault, bring Liliana down to 1. That means Liliana right now cannot take care of the Master.
Yep, good sequencing there from Kerrigan.
We're moving on over back to Jadine now. And looks like there is a Fatal Push in hand here. And we know about the Tarmogoyf. Liliana is going to start by going up. So each player will discard. Klomparens ready to discard. There goes a Scavenging Ooze. And an island there for Kerrigan will go to the graveyard. The follow-up now is a Tarmogoyf. And now a Fatal Push will take care of Master. I do like that Jadine killing these creatures while AJ is tapped out. No nonsense.
Right, you don't have to worry about counters. See, the flip side of that is you may want to leave Kerrigan in a spot where it looks like he can fire up the Mutavault and attack because of Island Walk, and then if you kill the Master there and block, the game's over.
Sure.
But I think Klomparens giving AJ enough respect that he's not going to make a line of play that risky. And if you don't want to do that, then you're right. Just play it when Kerrigan's tapped out. Don't have to worry about Spell Pierce or any other random counters.
Well, Kerrigan's got some thinking to do on this turn. Just a couple of cards in hand. It'll be a Master of Waves. Now keep in mind, he's going to get to make 2 elementals. One for the Master itself, and then the other for the Spreading Seas that's on the battlefield. Klomparens immediately with a,
oh boy.
That is a Liliana the Last Hope, folks. Which means that Master's going to bite the dust along with the elementals. This is I've been doing some Modern testing. When you have these 2 Lilianas in play, it's very hard for the opponent to win.
Certainly a challenge with creatures.
Yes, yes, yes it is. Yes. Liliana Last Hope, you would think maybe just a standard card. -2, -1. How good is that in Modern? It's really good.
If you ever kill anything, you're so far ahead.
Yeah.
On the exchange. And mana creatures, I mean, the format's so fast that most of the creatures that show up cost 1.
Yep.
So they're going to die to this thing.
And then the minus ability, too, with just being able to put 2 cards in your graveyard and getting back a Snapcaster Mage, a Tarmogoyf, a Scavenging Ooze. It's just a really good card. It's not as good as Liliana of the Veil, but few things are.
Right, and it does do the same thing as Liliana the Veil with that minus power, which is I get a card back, either an Edict or my Raised Dead, and it still requires something out of you, some game action to take care of this. And even if your Planeswalker dies right away from a creature attack, the exchange is still often very good for you.
Liliana the Veil is going to minus. Mutavault's going to bite the dust. Marrow Regery is left behind. But this is kind of what you talked about at the top, where Jadine's cards just outclass AJ's cards.
Right.
That's the biggest problem here.
If Jadine can cast her spells, AJ is in a lot of trouble. And even that game, Klomparens was cut off of red the whole game, other than the one bolt that she cast early on. It didn't matter. The green cards and black cards were more than enough to get it done.
Jadine Klomparens going to win game number 1 here over AJ Kerrigan as Jund is up a game over Merfolk. We're going to get to the sideboards here in just a bit. But first, a couple messages from our sponsors.
Go. Go.
Let's talk sideboards here between Klomparens and Kerrigan. You got Jund on Merfolk. Merfolk will be on the play, so we're going to look at 3 Tormod's Crypts, 3 Seize Claim, 3 Dispel, 3 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Raft Trigger's Cage, and Dismember. Well, spreading Seize good. Seize Claim's got to be at least okay.
Well, maybe. It's certainly good against Tron decks where you just have to break up their mana. That's what the whole game's about. This is a little bit different, but I still think that the you can't cast your spells is his best path to victory.
I think so too.
And even if this isn't the ideal matchup, I think I would bring those in alongside the one copy of Dismember.
For Jadine, she's got 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Nile Spellbomb, 2 Goblin Rabble Master, 2 Collective Brutality, 2 Engineer Explosives, 2 Fulminator Mage, a Pia and Kieran Nalaar, 8 Raft Trigger's Cage, and a Kolaghan's Command.
Yeah, it's just a lot more action here on the board here. A copy of Kolaghan's Command and the 2 Engineer Explosives are great, and I think the 2 copies of Collective Brutality are probably good enough.
Yeah, Jadine, the world is kind of her oyster right now. If game 1 is the recipe for success of kill all your stuff, eventually kill you, that's got to be your plan again for game 2.
Right. My concern is I don't actually know what she can cut because all of her cards are so good. I mean, the 6 discard spells you can probably safely get away from, and maybe one of the Scavenging Oozes. Not great here.
Yeah.
But her deck is just high quality threats and removal spells, and it's going to be an uphill climb for AJ.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a lean machine that Jadine does submit here. And for AJ, it's kind of cheesy, but the plan, I think, is hope that maybe Jadine doesn't draw too many lands, and the lands that she does draw, turn them into islands.
Exactly.
That's it. I don't think he can really do anything past that, truthfully. So,
I mean, we saw he drew a bunch of good threats. He had a good curve, and none of that mattered.
Yeah, it's not like AJ's hand was bad.
No.
It's like you said.
Bunch of Lords, Spreading Seas, a Mutavault,
The only thing that was maybe missing was a Vial, and I don't think Vial really changes anything that game.
No, and I also don't think this is a great matchup for Vial in general.
No,
he needs all of his cards to kind of carry weight on their own.
Well, both players will take a look at their 7 cards. We'll see if Kerrigan and Klomparens can find hands that they are happy with for game number 2. See, AJ is going to be on the play, and Jadine is going to send it back. So she'll be taking a look at 6 cards here in just a moment. And while she shuffles, we're going to take a little bit of time to learn more about the player on the left. That's Jadine Klomparens, who does have an invitational top 8 turn name. Runner-up, unfortunately, that means she didn't get the win for the 27-year-old from New Britain, Connecticut. 2 open top 8s as well. Just looking for victories at this point is Jadine, but at least she's interesting. I'll tell you that much.
These are some great facts.
A large number of social media followers don't play Magic or know who she is, but are fans of Filipino singers James Reid and Nadine Lustre, who formed the love team Jadine. Despite number 1, still loves her name and hasn't become jaded to puns on it. And of course, our favorite, once had a gun pulled on her by a 9-year-old while delivering pizza. That is Jadine Klomparens, 4-0 here this weekend at our Season 2 Invitational Weekend.
Just speaks for itself.
I just want to know what was on the pizza. That's where my head's at. You can order pizza right now. What do you want on it? What's your go-to pizza? Don't say cheese. Don't say cheese.
Sometimes pepperoni.
Okay.
Sometimes sausage. Sometimes a little garlic.
Do you dabble in like vegetables at all? That's a bad question. I'm sorry.
Why would I be ordering a pizza?
Spreading the seas here from Kerrigan on that raging ravine. What a dumb question by me.
Nice.
Boy, just really stupid. Vial up to 1 already. For Klomparens. Gonna sacrifice a wooded foothill.
Just if you like vegetables on
Ooh,
your,
I love the follow-up here. Here's a Tarmogoyf. I love the follow-up to this conversation.
if you like vegetables on your pizza, that's fine. You know, order whatever you like. But if you're doing it out of some sense of, well, this isn't really that bad for me because there's vegetables on it.
Yeah.
Just go order something else.
Just don't order pizza?
Don't order pizza.
Okay.
You know, we have a couple of years of difference in age between the two of us.
We do.
You know, when I was a kid in elementary school, that pizza was on the food pyramid?
I did know that, yeah. It was on mine, too, when I was growing up, yeah.
Incomprehensible.
Times have changed. You learn as you go in life that maybe you shouldn't.
I want to know who had the pizza lobby was getting paid for invading my elementary school.
Mutavault's going to swim on across here. As you saw Master of the Pearl Trident come on through the Vial. And, of course, with the spreading seas on the battlefield, Tarmogoyf not going to be a blocking, which means that Master of the Pearl Trident, it needs to be a die-in.
You get your dairy.
You do, cheese.
From cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, you can get your vegetables from, like, cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's tobacco. It's a well-rounded meal for kids of all ages. It's a crazy time to have been alive.
That's right.
I mean, they all are, but
but especially then.
Yeah,
especially then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone had a gluten allergy back then. What do you think?
No, I don't think so.
No real gluten allergies then? Fatal Push going to go after Master of the Pearl Trident right now. Vapor Snag is going to save it. That's a tough way to do it. That's a tough way to do it. Tarmogoyf's going to grow.
He was able to trade a card that's hard to cash in profitably for something.
Yes.
That is a victory for Vapor Snag.
Vial is going to go on the stack. Going to Vial in there, and now it's going to go up to 3 here for Kerrigan. He'll draw a card. Looks like he picked up another copy of Vapor Snag. There's an Aboro. That's City in the Clouds, if memory serves. Palace in the Clouds. Palace in the Clouds. One of my favorite lands. Get in there for 3 Mutavault. Klomparens down to 11. AJ with 2 blue left over, just going to pass the turn back. We go back over to Jadine. This is another game where Kerrigan has cut off her red mana.
Yes, and it's still a challenge.
Yes, still tough. That's how difficult this matchup is for Merfolk, for our viewers at home. Jadine operating just fine. Has a Terminate in hand, has a Maelstrom Pulse in hand, and now a Verdant Catacombs means that Jadine will go down to 10, potentially 8, depending on what land she wants to search up. And if she's going to take 2 damage to search up a red land, I would not feel good if I was AJ.
where you get your fruit from.
Pineapple on the pizza.
Dunkin' Donuts Coolata, maybe. I wish that someone could get me one of those 1980s food pyramid posters. That'd be really.
Somebody can find one of those on Twitter for you.
Thrilled.
Absolutely. Here is Terminate on Master of the Pearl Trident. Searching the stomping ground. That's why Jadine's fallen down to 8. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
I'm a nay, but I think that if you are passionately nay and think other people shouldn't order it, that you have real trouble.
It's just general problems.
You have problems, and it's probably not limited to you feeling that way.
Understood. Understood. Here's an attack from Tarmogoyf and Scavenging Ooze. Dismember, going to take care of the Goyf. Kerrigan going to pay some life to take care of that.
5-6 Goyf, I think, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I don't think it's happened either game.
It's not happened either game, no. I have Fatal Push with Revolt. 2 Fatal Push have been cast in the match, neither with Revolt. Just want to make sure we're clear about that as we head back over to AJ Kerrigan. The Vial is up to 4. That could mean anything. Or just one thing.
Very limited, actually a very limited range of things.
Yeah, it could mean just one thing. Here comes the Master of the Pearl Trident. Old Mutavault's going to come on in. And it'll be for just 3, perhaps?
That's 3.
Yeah. Well, if he Vials in a Master, it could have been for 4 because of Mutavault's Changeling status. But it doesn't look like a Master of the Pearl Trident is in AJ Kerrigan's hand at this moment. Perhaps a little bit of bluffing from our player on the right.
Or just doesn't want to expose it on his main phase to Liliana the Last Hope.
Also true. Also true.
If you get 1 point out of it, but suddenly it just dies to the Planeswalker.
Well, he needs to win this game.
Yeah.
Master of the Pearl Trident, or excuse me, Master of Waves. He needs to win this game. Jadine with a Fatal Push without Revolt again. Nice. That's the 3rd one. Nice. It's a totally normal thing that happens.
And this is interesting because it may induce a Vial activation right now from AJ to get the extra devotion to blue, but then he's exposing his Master of Waves to some main sorcery speed interaction, some main phase interaction.
And I do believe that Klomparens has Maelstrom Pulse in her hand. So this is a little bait 'em.
One of my very good friends grew up in Louisville, went to elementary school there.
Okay.
And they had someone from McDonald's come in and teach the kids McDonald's jingles.
That's actually sounds kind of fun. Am I wrong about that?
I think that should be illegal. If it's a public school, it should definitely be. Like if you're going to like McDonald's High or whatever, and your mascot.
That's not a school.
And your mascot is, Ronald McDonald, whatever.
There's the Master of Waves. That's going to do it.
Very tight sequencing there from AJ.
Very disciplined as well, as he'll win game number 2. We are going to put your story on pause about McDonald's High, was it?
I'm just saying having advertisers from McDonald's come and teach to basically brainwash kids into demanding Happy Meals from their parents. It's incredible.
More on that. But first, we need to hear.
Don't trust your teachers. Do not.
From these sponsors. we got a good look at the food pyramid while we were away. Right at the top, folks, and if you're following me on Twitter at Cedric A. Phillips, a quick little retweet here for you. Live retweet during the broadcast. Right at the top, sweets.
Yeah, so there's a big difference, I think, in saying if you have candy every so often, it's not the end of the world, you know, versus make sure you're getting your daily dosage of sweets. Very different presentation.
Very vague on what sweets means in this context.
Yeah,
it's kind of open to interpretation.
You want 5 servings of pizza for every serving of sweets, so don't go overboard with it.
I do like that the whole grains is 5 to 12 servings of bread or pasta.
Right. Well, that's why they're recommending you eat so much food that you can't possibly do it unless it's pizza, because it gets your bread in there, it gets your dairy. You can put, you know, the fruits and vegetables on top.
Yeah.
Tomato sauce.
You could probably fit in some sweets on there too. People have, like, you know, cinnamon pizza, stuff like that. Like dessert pizza, that's a thing. Nuts and seeds, 1 to 2 servings.
Yeah.
Don't want to overdo it on those. Too healthy for you.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm shocked we're looking at this that somehow my diet wasn't just baguettes and Skittles. Because it's very like you can take that away from reading that.
Yes. I'm curious.
Cheesy bread.
That sounds really good for dinner.
Cheesy bread baguettes.
I am very curious
bars.
what the food pyramid looks like now, assuming it even exists. It could be a different shape now. Right. Who knows? As we're underway, Raging Ravine here for Klomparens. An island here for AJ. No Vial, no nothing. Vial actually pretty good last game.
It was good.
Gotta remember, did win it. A Swamp and a Thoughtseize. All right, AJ, let's take a look at the goods. Kira, Great Glass Spinner, a Master of Waves, a Spreading Seas, a Dismember, a Harbinger of the Tides, a Cavern of Souls, and a Mutavault. I'm thinking Spreading Seas here, maybe?
Well, it just depends on if her hand can operate through that. I think Kira is an obnoxious card for Jun to play against. So assuming that she can play through the Spreading Seas, I would imagine you take Kira, but her hand might be tight enough on mana that you just have to take the Seas here.
I would be a little bit more annoyed by Kira, depending on hand, if there was a Vial in the battlefield. You know, like Vialing and Kira in response to removal spell, very frustrating thing that can happen. I think that's how that works. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I think it checks when you target.
Checks when you target. Okay, then never mind. I take that
Kira,
back.
you just got to play.
Okay, I take that back. Kira can be annoying though if there's no Liliana around. But Jadine's going to consult some things here. I think it's probably between Spreading Seas and Kira.
Yeah, I mean, all the cards in AJ's hand are live here, but I imagine against most hands that Klomparens have either cares about Spreading Seas the most or Kira the most.
So many copies of Kira. Oh, AJ's playing 2. Normally a card you only see 1 of.
Maybe if you've got a Tarmogoyf and another discard spell, you would take the Dismember, but I think most of her hands are going to care about one of those 2 cards the most.
Well, we're going to head back over to Kerrigan now. Cavern of Souls predictably naming Merfolk. Kira's a Harbinger of the Tides.
I think that might be Cavern of Souls not naming Eldrazi or Elves.
Oh, nice. Really cool. Go ahead and stamp that home. Nice. How many Fatal Pushes have been cast in this match?
2 or 3, I think.
3 is the answer. 0 with Revolt. There's a Lightning Bolt. So unlucky. Did you pay Nick Miller? Tell the truth.
To manipulate the bingo game?
Yeah.
I cannot imagine a worse use of my resources.
This is a Scavenging Ooze. Now we will go back over to AJ Kerrigan. An island the draw. AJ doesn't really need many more lands now. I think that was land number 4. It's got to be kind of spells all the way throughout, and none of them being Vial.
A confident look on his face.
Yeah, that's what you'd call that. He's got big plans. And I imagine he wants to deploy Kira this. Well, I don't. Yeah, no, he drew an island, so he can.
But, you know, Jadine didn't take it. So.
Got to be thinking Liliana or something.
Got to be. I mean, I would be really scared right now if I was AJ of that happening. But saying go doesn't seem like an option either.
Not against this deck. You just kind of got to hope that the hand is bad.
I guess your turn, you can still dismember this turn. It wouldn't just be a full passing of the turn. So if you wanted to wait a turn, so you could have like Mutavault ready to sacrifice to Liliana and try to get Kira to stick that way, you could justify it.
Well, here's Kira. Fingers crossed. Here for AJ Kerrigan. If the Great Glass Spinner can stay on the battlefield, life is pretty good here. He's got to hope that Jadine doesn't have 2 removal spells or Liliana. Now, to be fair, 2 removal spells is fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, you would ideally like your Kira to go unchecked and then run away with the game with various threats. But if you get 2 bolts for your trouble, that's a win.
Yeah.
The risk here is Liliana in the Veil. And at that point, Kerrigan's really far behind.
Jadine will sacrifice a Verdant Catacombs on the end step. We'll see what land she wants to search up. Looks like she's thinking Overgrown Tomb, and that's exactly what she'll get. Now we'll head to Jadine for her 4th turn of Game 3. Fatal Push the draw. Well. There's a Bloodstained Mire.
That the Kira costs 3, I believe. Is that correct?
That's correct. A permanent has left the battlefield in Bloodstained Mire. Getting ready here. I'm getting ready to be disappointed is what I'm getting ready to do. Oh, Blood Crypt untapped. Doesn't look like an accident to me. She's got big plans here for this Fatal Push with Revolt, I think. I hope. Oh, this is a great way to do it. Now you should not bolt that. Come on. Come on.
Well, the Fatal Push kills like everything. And the bolt doesn't line up the right way against Master of Waves. So it's just some really tight technical play there from Klomparens.
Let's go back to AJ. Oh, Vile, that's good.
That is nice.
That is timely. I think Mutavault's going to come on in here maybe. Now Dismember will take care of the Scavenging Ooze.
Mario Martinez.
Now we're going to go back over to Jadine.
At 14, very healthy life total here.
Very high.
Mario Martinez to the invitation.
Very high with, I believe, multiple copies of Fatal Push in hand.
Oh, you got Bloodstained Mire.
There's a Bloodstained Mire, so Revolt is ready.
Hope springs eternal.
It sure does. It sure does. This is great. Gonna sacrifice that. Nope. Revolt is
probably not Fatal Push.
It is on at this moment. Revolt is on. Important to note. As I believe Jadine's gonna search up a basic swamp. There it is. And perhaps our old pal Raging Ravine is gonna rumble in here.
I think I would rather get a Scavenging Ooze back than run that, I think.
Well,
fair enough.
Let's rumble in the jungle. Oof, Dismember number 2. Kerrigan down to 10. Liliana gonna go up, pass the turn back. Kerrigan's gonna put the Vial on 1. Draw a card. Mutavault's gonna bring Liliana down to 3. And we're gonna go back to Jadine. Jadine will draw. Didn't get a great look. Dark Confidant? It is. Liliana gonna go up, pass the turn back. On my bingo board for viewers at home, I have Dark Confidant reveals a land.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
We know that's not gonna happen. AJ does have a Curse Catcher in hand, I believe.
Nice.
That he is considering vialing in.
Sneak it on in. There can't be Curse Catchers in his deck after board, right?
There could be. Draw a card. Picked up an island.
There is.
Yeah, old Curse Catcher.
Get a little sneaky. Just into the jaws of that Liliana.
Mutavault's going to come in here. Fatal Push there. Cool.
No Revolt.
No Revolt, no.
Permanents have left the battlefield.
No, 0 Revolts there. Dark Confidant, that's a Fatal Push. We have so many opportunities here.
I can't.
To get a hit.
Right now I'm hoping that AJ just taps out. I think your Confidant is, you got good odds here if this game plays out to its natural conclusion.
We revealed Fatal Push, so that's back on. but not a land.
Yeah, my hope here is that Kerrigan draws a land and concedes.
And just has had enough?
Yeah.
Okay. The big follow-up is Tarmogoyf. I bet
check the size.
I bet that's a 5/6.
Check the size.
I would bet my entire life it's a 5/6.
Check. Let's go. Come on.
There's a spreading seas in the graveyard.
Well, that's an enchantment. Cool. Land, instant sorcery.
Let's
cool.
check the die. Oh, it's a 5/6.
Cool.
Wow.
Bang on that.
That's good for you. Yeah, that's really good for you. That's good.
All right, concede, AJ.
I would play.
Concede.
I would keep playing. I would keep playing.
No, you wouldn't.
If
you were actually in the seat,
I would have conceded 2 turns ago. It was. Oh yeah, let's get a good look at the reveal here. Come on, little leg. God, you gotta be kidding me.
Ooh, it increases the likelihood he concedes also. Because he is not beating that.
No, he's not.
I mean,
no, he is not. It has a terminate off the top.
I guess you played out because who knows? Maybe maybe she has a greater Gargadon or something. You gotta look.
Maybe hit run in the deck.
Yeah, he'll hit run.
Yep. This looks like maybe a Maelstrom Pulse supposed to be casting that Vial. Yep. Take care of that. See you later.
And has the mana to pay for Curse Catcher.
Interesting. 6/7. This is an attack for 8. And that's going to do it. That's going to do
Faded it.
Jadine Klomparens going to win this match over AJ Kerrigan 2-1. Jun takes care of Merfolk. We have no Revolted Fatal Pushes. We have no lands revealed to Dark Confidant. But we did have a 5/6 Tarmogoyf.
Surprising there that Kerrigan was able to get a game legit.
I am actually genuinely surprised. Yes.
Klomparens was able to cast her spells, but Kerrigan with just very sharp timing and a threat-dense hand was able to take game number 2 there, but on the draw there in game number 3, and Klomparens just with too much removal and too many good standalone threats.
That matchup is bad.
It is a bad one
for Merfolk. I